Hey, what's up everyone? This is Fuwa here. So, I started playing this new game called Scrap Mechanics. It really appeals to the engineer in me. And, well, I mean, this game's pretty fun. I've decided to start building things, and I found it extremely difficult to build anything that flies using the proper controls. It's actually not possible without some creative thinking to build any contraption that flies the way a normal plane would. And by normal plane, I mean using like the up button, or W in this case, to pitch forward, and then the S button to pitch upwards. It doesn't work like that. You've got to hook them all to like buttons, and then you got to use like the numbers 3 and 4 and everything to activate rockets and things. But I found a way to do it, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you guys were ever to play this game, you kind of would understand. So the basic controls is basically everything that's in this box right here. So I'm going to just sit down and kind of give you guys a demo. We'll look from this, what's a good view? This is a pretty good view from right here. Alright, so if I push down, you notice how the little tubes on the corner swing, and there's a sensor at the end of each of these so that the sensors go off. And that is how I basically register the up-down. Well, the problem with that is that it would stay there. And so if I were to push down and the bottom rocket would fire to go up, then I would pitch up forever until I pushed up. And then I would have to somehow balance it in between so that it doesn't activate any sensors. Well, that's really hard to do, right? So what Scrap Mechanics have implemented recently is a logic box. And basically I've used the logic box, this guy right here, and then added a second set of sensors, these guys, to monitor the way these things are spinning. So as these guys are basically touching each of these side sensors here and activating them, it's telling them which button I'm pushing, whether it's up or down. These things spin regardless of what direction. Well, they spin in certain directions too, but if I hold down, then they just spin, right? And if I hold up, it just reverses. Well, these things, when they spin, trigger these two sensors here, depending on whether they're in the up or down position. In this case, they trigger in the up position. So that's how I get them to keep from stopping. And basically, the logic box here, I guess I can show you this really crazy view here. So when this guy triggers this sensor, it's actually attached to a timer down here, and this timer basically delays the signal to the rocket by 0.075 seconds, or to the logic box, sorry, by 0.075 seconds. And the logic box basically says if all these triggers are going, then fire the rocket. So, and on the other, I have another timer over here, but it's just for balance. It's just lets the signal go straight through, basically, so it doesn't do anything. So essentially, when it delays at 0.075, what happens is this thing will spin around. It takes about 0.075 to go halfway around the circle. So it does that, and its signal happens as the other guy is finally getting to the up position. When the other guy gets to the up position, then the logic box will read that they're both in the up position, and it'll go. So this way I can control when the rockets stop firing. So I can push and hold, and it starts, and then I let go, and the rocket stops. There's a slight 0.75, maybe 0.25 second delay before it actually stops. But yeah, so that's how you get these things to work like that. Yeah, so this is my plane. I guess I'm going to demo it for you guys now. So the one button activates the hover rocket, so that just makes it hover. You can actually get it to hover. They're pretty neutral. It doesn't really move the aircraft upwards or anything, but if you use the left and right buttons to alter the pitch, you can actually lift the rocket up in the air a little higher like this. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. There's no landing gear on this thing, and as you can see, it's a very neutral lift that it's got right there. So the number 2 button activates the main rockets so that you can actually fly the thing, and then you push down power buttons, activate the side rockets to change your yaw, and that's basically how this plane flies. It flies like a normal plane, for the most part. Still some weird things. Sometimes there's these weird pitch ups like this, like crazy, and that's just because of the bottom rockets. You kind of have to turn them off, turn them back on, and just get that stupid nose back in. So the rockets aren't that strong. I probably could add another one in the front to make it a little stronger, but didn't really want to. Didn't want to ruin the balance of it. So yeah, I hope you guys download this from the Steam Workshop and enjoy. Yeah, essentially this is the plane. I wonder if we can do a loop. That was great. That's a close one. So we can loop, barely. That was piss poor flying on my part. So we can't really loop, I guess. Sort of loop, not really. It flies fairly neutrally. It's supposed to add some rocks in the back to make it slightly more powerful for us, and it's climbing like this, it doesn't stall out. Something that's basically, if you want to land, what I do is I kill the rockets, the main rockets, and just let it hover, and it'll eventually come to a slow standstill. And when that happens, you can just turn off the hover rockets, and it'll start to fall. Of course, you got to catch it before it crashes. You don't have to. It's like your craft gets hurt or anything, but you know you got to look good, right? You got to look good. So, and then you just basically adjust the pitch, yaw, and bank, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Then the number 5 button opens and closes the hatch so you can get in and out of the vehicle. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helps you guys in building your aircraft. One of the things I did want to mention as well is that you want to make sure that you build, when you do build an aircraft, you want to build it as neutral as possible. So you want the levitation to be as neutral as possible, and then you want to kind of add one component on at a time. So after you get it to neutral, you want to add like maybe the ability to bank, or you want and make sure that when you do bank, it's as neutral as it can be. And then when it actually thrusts the main engines, you want that to be as neutral as possible. So what I do is I levitate the plane like this, push number 2, and see if it pitches in any direction when I do this. And you notice it doesn't. That makes for a more friendly plane to fly than if you had an extremely unneutral plane like this, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.